Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Joanna. Welcome to the Early Morning Ascension Show. Yay! Today we wanted to have some fun. I have some brand new, really exciting 5D Oracle cards. They're my very own. I'm starting to make my own Oracle deck. And they're based on a lot of the experiences that I've had over the many, many years and the incredible multidimensional energies that are assisting us in our evolution, that are assisting us in remembering who we are, all that we belong to. And so I'm really excited. So we're going to do some of these Oracle cards. They're based on the renewal of who we are, the homecoming of who we are, and the benevolence of who we are as spirit creating matter, and allowing us to be aligned with the highest vibrational grids for 5D. And they're unlike any deck thus far, and I have tons. I have boxes and boxes of oracles and tarot. And I have a tarot channel that I haven't used. It's on YouTube. I haven't used it in a long time. But how we're going to be evolving into these higher frequencies and cycles of humanity ascending and humanity evolving is, and one of them will be through our divination explorations, because most of the tarot is based on our movement through various lower vibrational, and I say lower just because they're primordial energies from the woundings that we've had from all of the separation that we've experienced, and how to harmonize that through the shadow, the inner child, and all of the psyche wounds that we've come with. And those will also be incorporated into my oracles as well, because we're going to be transitioning out of the traditional tarot, because we would have harmonized ourselves into the higher self and allowing ourselves to expand into these new templates of co-creation. So my oracle deck will be very specific about these higher vibrational templates through my own unique perspective, being an orator and Christed consciousness and a crystal child, and all the beautiful things that I'm wrapped in, if you will, and are ever exploring, because there's so many things that are opening up within me. And so we thank you for our introduction today. It's just going to be a really short segment. I'm wanting to keep these a whole lot shorter than I have been, so that we can focus on many of our new creations. And we've got weekly beautiful communities of light gatherings that we've started. Communities of light, for those of you who are interested, go onto our Facebook and our Twitter and our Tumblr, as well as just email me, and you can get a link to those experiences with donations. And just creating communities of light in your community is really simple and easy, and get your family and your children involved. And then it just creates that sense of community and allows people to share their stories and to create those tribal experiences that are very sacred in our becoming of 5D. We're so excited. And that it also allows the incredible, not only the healing that occurs there, but I was so grateful for all of the beautiful people that are coming forward with their gifts, and they don't necessarily know they have their gifts until they're in this really unique, supportive environment where it's just really nurturing and safe to share. And these beautiful energies are coming forward, and they're tapping into a lot of the gifts that they've had coming here as beautiful purveyors of light, light workers and guardians of light, and guardians of new ways to explore and to co-create, and really to break the codes of all conformity that we absolutely see. As we've talked about many, many times, our collective experience is all about, the mall of vibrational choice, if you will, and the beautiful experiences that you can get from every store in and of itself, and every store carrying its vibrational story. That vibrational story is the offering through which you can navigate different vibrational experiences. And as your soul wants to evolve, it wants to have that variety and that variation of navigational explorations. That's how you earn and you understand, and you're aiming your directional focus of your energy into ways that really serve you and nourish you. And that's the only way to find out, is to actually go through those experiences. Thank you, Spirit. And so today we wanted to talk about really short segment today, because my teams are saying that I've been giving out so much information, so much wisdom. It's now time to pack it into shorter segments and then operate it in other frequencies where if you want private sessions and classes and global webinars and all of the things that we do to provide our services, the links will be provided below for that. But what we wanted to talk about is the beautiful and very basics of what we're all going through in this fifth dimensional experience, is the beautiful arena of cycles, and understanding cycles, and how can we perceive it in a brand new way that's really, really exciting. And we're seeing ourselves really step up into these exciting new experiences of who we are, the cycle of who we are, and really getting joyful about it. creating those stories. So if we go back to this mall experience and allowing yourself to be the metaphor and all of these beautiful experiences of symbology about what your true story is and how you can own and honor those experiences of all that you've been through from birth till now, and allowing yourself to know that in every new moment you can redirect who you are within, the beautiful sovereignty of who you are within, always aligning with the heavens, allowing yourself to activate the codes within the DNA and all that you're able to activate within yourself as a holistic being of light that's designing itself to carry more light, that's moving through daily self-care and understanding your cycles. That way you can really tell what kind of story you're writing. Just be the beautiful story and the cycle of who you are as this beautiful being of light. Moving about this navigational experience, that we will be operating in these really profoundly, well, they're saying monumental, monumental toggling of realities and timelines. We're kind of hesitant to say timelines, if you will, because they're really experiences that you allow yourself to open up into based on your ability to fall in love in the joy and the cycle of you. And we've rarely allowed ourselves to understand ourselves, always moving in a cyclical experience, allowing ourselves to release what the stores are showing us on the smaller scale, if you will. And smaller scale, I mean that oftentimes what's right in front of you. They're just the repetitions and the reverberation and regurgitation of the limitations you're working through and the fear-based stories and all of those experiences through separation, because separation limits. It breaks things down and it very limits things. And then it puts everything into smaller boxes by having to define it, the egocentric way that we value and devalue, the way that we corrupt the purity of all that we are as spirit, the cycle of spirit. And so we're now reconstructing ourselves, if you will. And that requires that we really get intimate about the profundity of cycles, because everything that you see yourself moving through will be a cycle. And it's that beautiful, very sacred journey that you have with spirit and your teams and your soul. Your soul is going to come forward in these beautiful cycles to show you the new story of you, the potentiality of you. And it's up to you to really get intimate with that beautiful sacred story and start creating new themes, new characters, new landscapes that you want to perceive and be the purveyor within. And so that's a vibrational experience we want you to feel into. How can you purview yourself and okay, so there's a word for that. They're showing me people in a mine, and they're going down with these little hard hats, and they've got these lights, the lights on their what are they called, helmets, the mine helmet things. I don't know anything about mining. My dad used to work in a mine, but and so they're showing me these miners underground, and they're purveying the darkness. So anybody wants to put comments below. There's a word for that, when they navigate the darkness with their little hats. We call it mining, but I'm sure there's a word for it. Purveying. It's not like surveying, but it's purveying in this beautiful dark experience. And it's got a different experience than you do on land. It's got a different experience than when you're swimming in the water. There are all these ways that we can experience who we are. And much of what we're going to be going through are these new stories, these cyclical stories of how we're moving in and out of things that are unknown. Because when you're in the mine, you have no idea where you're going. You have no idea what's ahead. You have no idea what's going to be around the corner, or you're going to bump your head. You have to go smaller and lower. I've been in caves a few times, and the whole experience about a cave is just to surrender and trust yourself with Gaia, that beautiful journey that you have no idea what's around the corner. Because when you're in a mine, you have to be okay and available to the fact that you have absolutely no idea if there's a way out, if there is enough room for you to turn around. So we want you to get used to kind of navigating these unknowns and allow it to be less scary or frightening, because then you're allowing yourself to challenge your unconditional, infinite exploratory experience with spirit and Gaia and all that is in between, because you're never ever alone, even in the darkest of places, regardless if you're going through a dark night of the soul for the 10th time or for the first time. You don't know what's around that corner. You don't know what's in that next store in the mall, and this is where we're moving through with humanity. We've gone through a collective story and a collective cycle, and we've seen everything kind of break apart. And we've been, spirit has given the pendulum, if you will, greater pressure and greater force to turn up the volume of those that are in control, if you will, to continue pressurizing us for us to awaken. So it's all serving its purpose. And that's why protesting and, you know, getting involved in all of the arguments are kind of futile, when you can just simply create that new cycle and that beautiful story of who you are in a way that can allow you to release all of the fears of, you know, not having your voice heard, which is what those stories allow us to be triggered. The wanting of your voice to be heard, the wanting of your cycle to be very special and purposeful, and not to be degraded or devalued or disrespected because of who you are and what you offer and your unique version and perspective of the world and earth in and of itself. And so we're becoming this, with this beautiful experience of cycle, really go within and find out how deep are you willing to allow yourself to go into the cave of creation. And there is a beautiful cave, and we're so grateful that we get to be with all the beautiful angels and the beautiful experiences. We're so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit, the gatekeepers of that cave, and allow us to explore those arenas of where we've come from and where we're going. What are the potentials of our new cycle and our new story? And so go into that with a meditation. Just say, I'd like to create this new cycle that I'm stepping into, and I want to perceive myself and have all that I am activated to a deeper and richer experience with Gaia. My feeling and my sensing is that we will be awoken because of the many healings, releases, as we've said earlier. As the collective is going through an awakening, there will be many outbursts of Gaia, so that she's releasing that energy for us, for all of the eons that we've been so, you know, the games and the wars and all of that we've done. And, you know, even the great challenges that we have on our planet now with so much friction, that energy needs to be transmuted because it never goes anywhere. You know, when those deconstructions fall down, as we said earlier in our offerings, there's still that energy that's still there, and it has to be transmuted. Just as if there's things that occur on land, it still has to be transmuted. And those of us that can read land, you know, eco and Gaia, vibrational archaeology that I've offered before, when I go to sacred land sites and reading the vibrational stories within the land, the vibrational stories that are offered within those sacred, you know, stories and sites. We must understand that everything with Gaia is a multidimensional experience, and she has multidimensional realms and stories that have been tapestried within who she is and who we are in the vibrational offerings that we've been with her. And so they're showing me now that oftentimes we see the glyphs and we see the experiences on many of the sacred sites as individual stories of that one time experience or timeline or time circa. But we must understand that Gaia is constantly changing based on our collective consciousness. So as our consciousness rises, and as we've said many before, same as an astronomer that's looking through the telescope, that consciousness is only relevant to see what it needs to see based on its awareness of spirit and all things within it and above it and around it, because its world changes as we perceive it. And from the experience of who we are as spirit and the God consciousness, we're allowing ourselves to open into new cycles and stories based on our multidimensionality that is no longer linear at all, and anything that we see before us, even though it was taught and brought to us through traditional understandings and regurgitated stories of what we call history, we're understanding that history in and of itself are just various vibrational experiences that have a potential in that specific time period, but also have overlays, have veils, if you will, of vibrational stories that transcend what we know to be linear time. And that has not been experienced or expressed before, except through this conduit, because she is very interested in vibrational archaeology and seeing the various time overlays and the experiences through which many of you travel in and out of collective tribes and collective circles to bring forward that new information now. And so they're showing me someone that is time jumping. We call it time jumping, but it's not what it really is. It's just allowing yourself to be the wholeness of who you are. You're very whole and you're very real as a physical being. And as you're encapsulating more light, more arena of your multidimensionality, your consciousness allows you to travel in and wherever you so choose. We say where, it's not in a location, it's a vibration. So your vibration is excited to experience a vibrational rock, if you will, in a vibrational land location. And so those all carry vibrations, and those that have been there now and above, because you have also collectives of the inner earth that are also affecting the vibrations of your land. And also your consciousness on your planet and the collective that you sit within also affects the consciousness of the land. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. We're so grateful. And so the cycles and the stories that you all exist within, you will see and you will experience yourselves to become more fluid within what you call time or energy or spaces or realities, through which whatever your soul requires and needs of you, you can go here and there and everywhere if you so choose. You can be vibrationally sitting with your children in one location and then off in another having an experience in a forest. So you are becoming less linear as you allow your consciousness to be explored in the most fluid and dynamic universal academic ways possible. We say universal academic because it transcends what you know to be true about your historical lineage that is very linear, and how you've been taught about it, and it just gets regurgitated with is beautiful and sacred. But there is far more to your experiential reality than you so desire to tap into if it's a new cycle of exploration for you. And so we're giving you this metaphor about the mind. And this mind can be that everything that you have learned thus then before, just know that it's always available to you in this cave of creation. There's always crystals there that you can tap into, and books, if you will, if you choose to see it as a library. And everything that you've been experienced from birth to now, if you so wish, if you just want to use this one timeline, all of your experiences as you awaken are now becoming readily available to you based on your level of consciousness for you to navigate the vibrational threads is what they're showing me. Because again, we're talking about multidimensionality. It's not linear and matter, if you will. Reality is just an illusion. So I'm seeing the threads of how you're being threaded to what you need to get. So if you're sitting in what you know to be your house, if you will, it seems like a physical experience, but it's just what you've created because you've told yourself that you're in that house, and that house is what you need to allow yourself its physical potentiation and the reality that you need to experience. But you can choose to change your house just like your body, because you can tell yourself that new story. So again, your cycles, what you choose to experience in your cycles, thus the apparatus in your cycles, the themes and the landscape, all is changeable, interchangeable. There's no linearity to it at all. And so going into this cave allows you to be in that beautiful, dark, and sacred womb through which you can create whatever reality that you so choose. And so get used to it. Get used to having everything being blank before you, unknown, unreal, absolutely unimaginable, and boom, you can create it. This is very exciting. Now, this will also allow you, those that have gotten to clearing so much of their karma and they're ready to take on these tangible new unknown. And these tangible meaning that you're creating the spirit matter and you're creating matter of it. Because that's how the creator gods and the elementals and all that is life allows itself to cycle and become a vortex of your own creation. As we've talked about in all of our offerings and our classes and our webinars and our vocational offerings and coaches and coaching sessions, is how do you start creating the reality you want? How do you start operating and using those gifts and skills and wisdoms from all of your lineage and all that you've learned to become more of who you are as a multidimensional now being? And so this cave of creation can allow you to explore any further any of those fears and those triggers that will come up. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know. What about my bills? What about the money that I need to put aside? And all of those worries and all of those experiences. So pull them up and call them forward to deconstruct again for this new cycle of the unimaginable. And if there's fears about safety, if there's fears about family not being there with you, if there's fears about anything that comes up, face it and deal with it and sort it out in your new cycle. Journal it out. And how can you see this cave of creation assisting you in navigating through those experiences of fear and detaching? Because they're all about the attachments in those vibrational stories that keep you linked to it, just as you do your home, to say that, wow, this home has always been here, it never changes. Well, that's because you're creating that same story in it. But you know that's not the case. Each and every one of you have potentiality to change the environment and the world in which you live. If there is something upon your world that you find troubling, then go to the bottom of that and sort out, how may I perceive the heavens within this? How may I create the light in this? How may I infuse my greatness within this? For the heavens live through me. We are allowing heavens to come to life in these new cycles. And at this point, it's a beautiful unknown. There's much that is unwritten. There's much that is in that intangible, but you can make it tangible based on your intention and your focus and where you're directing that love, where you're directing your vortex of energy, where you're directing your creativity. All is up to you. All is up to you. And this is where we can begin to show the excitement and the enthusiasm and the optimism to all before you, especially the children. Much is unknown, but we will rewrite it. We will rewrite the new education systems that won't be like what they were, but we're absolutely going to honor and bless all of it and pull bits and pieces out, because everything is purposeful. All has its place. And we want to honor and we want to establish appreciation and gratitude for it all. But there is a now moment of us to recreate, us to create from the song of the cave of creation, new cycles, new cycles, new cycles, new cycles. It is the joy within you. You get to start fresh and go to those places that are unknown and dark. And we say dark just because you're able to now I don't know what the word is, descend, you know, as the miners go down in the shafts, the descend into those places that you had distracted yourself from because of the wounding and the pain, or because there's just so much going on that you've had no time left to investigate who you are, to explore who you are. But it is a very beautiful experience. And do so with that gratitude and with that joy about who you are in these placements of these new stories, these new cycles. So get intimate with your cycles, be beautiful with your cycles, be exploratory, because it's a new breath for you to create in a brand new ways. That's in such a high vibration that is unlike anything we've ever experienced. And that's really great for us to know that we've got this. This is a sacred experience. Let's start birthing ourselves through the womb of creation, through the womb of Gaia, through these new 5-dimensional experiences that are beyond all timelines. And I say timelines in the linearity of A, B, C to Z. No, we are using multidimensional languages, sounds, harmonics, our planet, our earth, and all is being upgraded as our consciousness upgrades. And we're being ping, 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 ping in the multidimensional fields to say that, wow, I'm getting those experiences. They must mean something. Let's explore this. And then you create that new cycle, because many of us will be brought forward into these experiences through which these new experiences will inspire us and activate us. It's all sticky. And so let's get my cards. So what is your new cycle going to inspire you with? And remember, we want you to go into the cave and completely draw a blank, because you will want to allow yourself, if you so choose, to dive within a 5th dimensional exploration and beyond. We want to take you to that very initial base of Metatronic creatorhood. You know, who are you as the sacred geometry and the sacred song? So let's call us an oracle, a Giovanna oracle. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Yay, we'll call 3. Yay! And so the first one that we pulled up was Visionary. And the visionary is what we're just talking about, is to see beyond. The visionary, to see beyond the physical, to see within the physical, to see through the physical, and to create portals through anything that is physical. When you're anything that is within the access, and we access points of creation, anything that you think is matter, there's always a vibrational field in and around it, and so too are all things, because it's all the vibration of spirit matter put together based on your perspective and your perception of it, your belief patterns of who you are as spirit. You can change that. The visionary is the one that surrenders all of itself into the eye and the heart that is spirit, that is God, the eye of God, the eye of Ra, in many of the law of one. And it's how you perceive yourself as the innate spec and the micro macro source creator. You're creating all of it based on your expansiveness and where your consciousness is at. Where your consciousness is at will be equally directive of the amount of density that you've cleared from those vibrational stories of lack, limitation, fear, and control, greed. That greed is the same vibration as control, because it thinks that there's a limit, a lack mentality, that there is not enough for all souls. Well, of course, God is the creator of all things. And when you're aligned with spirit, you're aligned with the all that source offers you. And that value of who you are as self-worth and self-honoring, you're just a magical piece of creatorhood. And so this offers us the experience of being the orator of all that is seen and unseen, the orator of all that is spirit and essence, which is what those of us that come as Christ consciousness creators, we can see and sense into the vibrational field and pull those stories up and out so that we can explain it in a way that is vibrationally indicative of what is required in the moment of those listening in future now moments, and what the creative collective needs to be inspired and ignited in a new way, to see itself in a new way, what they exist within a new way, and potentialities of what can be. Symbolisms and storytellers, the Gaia teacher, the seer of worlds and other worlds, So bringing those other worlds now, because as we are activated in this cave of creation, we're also calling in those DNA aspects and those other aspects of ourselves that are on other worlds, and we get to harmonize them. And I'm saying this in a way that I've never said it before, because it absolutely feels as if those aspects of our other selves are feeling quite different when we're walking upon that 5D earth land. And so that's a vibration. So just feel into what that means for you, because it's absolutely a frequency that I'm feeling. It's a feeling experience. And that's what visionaries do. They can see something in an experience that is, when we say see, it is the way that the physical multidimensional bodies, the spirit body, has its perspective in any one vibration. So that's really what seeing is, the visionary is. It's how to perceive a vibration. That perceiving of a vibration may be your clairconscience, it might be clairaudience, it might be an imprint, it might be an overlay. How you experience vibration, so that is visionary. How you experience a multidimensional vibration. That's what this means. And again, it goes beyond what other oracle cards and other things are, because this is my unique offering and it's not like any other. And so you're the seer of worlds beyond worlds, and you're seer of life beyond life, and that is your absolute connection, and you're threading with spirit God, because it's your interpretation. It's not meant as the all, and it's not meant as the book of all. It's just meant as your unique experience, and why we're getting more comfortable and more clear and more powerful and more sacred and more happy, knowing that we can use our unique perspective and be very confident and more, yes, I'm accepting this is my unique perspective, and it's not meant to be like any others, and it's meant to be unique, and it's meant to be groundbreaking, and I'm absolutely okay with it. I'm confident in that. And that's where you're absolutely guiding within who you are as your unique gifts. And the visionary is also, again, because it can see the unseen and move into experiences of vibration, it can also be the bringer of information and wisdom into a tangible experience for others, whether that be vibrational gifts that are offered and felt and known as healers, as well as vibrational. When you are a vibrational seer and visionary, you are also bringing healing to those that require it to see beyond the limitations of their reality, and to have it be a code or activation in their multidimensional fields. And that is to see the love, and to know the love, and to know the vibrations of love, and there are reasons of all things and purposeful that is spirit, and not that we have to know the way spirit works and why spirit works, but just to understand that there is spirit working at the most elegant experiences, grand and large. And so that's the visionary experience. So thank you. And the next one that we have is the God unseen, and that's similar to what we just went through. The God unseen that we're talking about in this vibrational card is the God within our own unique experience within the bodies. Because within the bodies, and us allowing ourselves to be in a new cycle of care and daily self-care and sacred honoring, we're allowing ourselves to call in those light codes that allow us to become more expansive in the outer. Because remember, the outer is a representation of us in. So as we're harmonizing and embodying the God unseen, the chakras, the water body, all that we are is God, understanding the God within, we're allowing to recreate the God without. And so that is what that means about the God unseen, the chakras, the water body, all that we are is those the electromagnetic and the sacred geometry, and all that makes us up as our spirit matter. That is the God unseen, and how to harmonize that and play with that and really direct it in great and wonderful ways for your new stories. And so this is actually the first card that I made. And this is the very first one. I was called Magnificence. And so this is the returning back, this is the returning back to who you are as spirit, from that micro macro, the very first moment that you were birthed from spirit. And your sacred story with spirit, what your vibrational song is, and why you're here to encapsulate yourself anew, to embody yourself anew, and you're always constantly harmonizing into something different. And why we're stepping out of those egocentric roles and definitions about giving ourselves titles and labels that are really, they're only vibrational, momentary turning of the pages, because you're constantly evolving and you're harmonizing into these new vibrational worlds. And that's really what we meant earlier, as when you're standing on this new 5D experience after you've come out of your cave, there are really these new vibrational experiences of you being that new harmonized you as a vibrational being from all planets, because you're allness when you're 5D. You can see and know yourself from all timelines, and see yourself in your bodies and change your body at any time, because you have that vibrational thought. When your thoughts are connecting into who you are and how you are at a God experience, the very first bubble, you know that you're in commandmentship of creating your reality in all ways. So we're getting closer and closer to that. We want to make sure that we're releasing all of those fears, because we don't want to be creating in fear and just creating cycles and timelines of fear. So this is the original return back to the micro macro from whence we came. This is the from whence we came. We are the micro macro spirit. I'm returning to my magnificence. And you can use this in your affirmations to know that you are always in your greatness. You are the allness. You are the holistic version of your harmonic song that is special and unique with you in spirit. And so what a beautiful card to end that. So we're so grateful. And then we're just going to pull one oracle on for our weekend. Thank you. From my other beautiful favorite deck. So grateful. So we hope you like our oracle deck. Put your comments below. I'm going to be creating more. I create them when I have the visions and I have my teams downloading stuff to me. And so they're really exciting because it is a multidimensional experience and they're very unique and sacred. So we thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the collective message today. Thank you, Spirit. That one wants to, oh, she feels she knows. And so she's allowing herself to be, so what they're saying for me, what we said earlier, is just allowing yourself to be absolutely confident and loving and enjoy and sacred celebration for your unique experience here on earth. How you experience yourself, how you explore yourself and who you are as a multidimensional being of sacred light, and yours unique sacred song, and how you're preparing yourself in these new cycles and what that means for you. Going into the cave of creation and absolutely know that you and spirit and all that experience offers you is all you need, and you'll always be safe. You'll always be safe. There's nothing to fear, because anywhere that you think you are, anywhere that you think you go, it's you and spirit, and you create from that beautiful sense of, wow, I'm home. I can be anywhere and I can still be home in this beautiful space, and I can absolutely create it anew. That's what we want you to get used to start to doing. Anything that comes to your experience, understand the lessons and why it's coming to you, clear out any fears and release any vibrational stories, and then it's a blank canvas and it's an experience where you can go within and really navigate with spirit. This is what I can do with this, and not be afraid to go deeper and within the navigation to really understand Gaia at her depths and start soaking within that Gaia energy. And there's a ton of vibrational stories, as well as the galactic and the cosmic. So what they're showing me now that we don't necessarily understand is that when we go within the depths of Gaia and we experience those beautiful visions and our connectedness with Gaia and all that is the elemental energies, it's also allowing us to travel to our galactic experience. So there's a direct relationship there, because she is absolutely the body of the galaxy as well. So her micro macro is no different than our micro macro. There's a lot being released there. Wow, that was a big activation. See, sometimes when I'm offering these to you and I'm just talking, they're activations for me as well. So it's bringing forward information and wisdoms that are, new and for the first time. And so thank you, Spirit. So we thank you. So we hope you've enjoyed this. Anybody that would like to make donations, we absolutely love your donations and your connection with us for us to offer and continued experiences here on this beautiful planet that is transcending our beautiful homecoming, our galactic homecoming. Create your new stories and your new cycles. Choose with intention of love and joy and embodiment of our beautiful earth, singing new songs with our beautiful new collective. And we're so happy that these new cycles will allow us to explore more of who we are in the most expansive ways, and really start fresh and start honoring ourselves as a beautiful, exciting story with spirit, for the benevolence of our entire creatorhood, for Gaia and our collective and our galactic and celestial friends that we're going to be meeting very soon. And we're all being prepared in our dreams and our higher visionary states, so that we can get used to seeing the unseen and the unknown without any fear, but our absolute excitement and sacredness. So we're so grateful, and we wish you much love and beautiful sacred honor for your exploration of your new cycle, your new stories, and who you are in love and light. And of course, always, rainbow tickles. Bye.